penny hockey boards. I sell these for about 50 bucks a piece. They cost about $6 to $7 a piece to make. This is the best pattern if you're gonna make a penny hockey game. Something you gotta think about. You see a lot of penny hockey boards with 20, 30, 40 pegs on there. Well, when you're playing against somebody, it's not real fun because you keep bouncing into the pegs. This one actually gives you a little bit of skill. Imagine having the penny right here. You could shoot it and make a long shot, which is a lot of excitement when you're playing the game. So, and then a lot of people have these two pegs around the goal, like right here and here, where you could barely get it into the middle. It's not fun if you're playing against somebody. You'll probably put the thing away. This pattern right here is what makes it very exciting and a lot of fun. So copy the same pattern. I'm making about 8 at a time. It takes me about maybe 2 hours to put together where I'm at right now. And this is gonna take about another hour to put all the framing in. I'm using a 2x1. This is in the trim aisle at the at Menards or Home Depot or your local hardware store, stuff like that. So it's 2 inches in height, and I think that's a 1/4 inch is what that is. Costs about $4 for that piece. That's probably the most expensive part, I think. The pine actually is about $8 for like a 10-foot board. Not very expensive at all. And you get a 10-inch. I got a 10-inch width here by a, I think they call it a 1-inch. So got dowel rods over here. I use a thick one. Put some, I actually use a stamper, a bingo stamper, to stamp all these. It's a lot quicker than sitting there with a marker and trying to mark it. These lines I just put in with like a little ruler to box them in, and I write the word penny hockey on the back. I drill my dowel rod posts all the way through. That makes sure that they're not going to fall out on somebody when they're playing this game. Built to last forever. Go all the way through. Use glue, wood glue, before you put it in. I'll sand all these down so they're flush when I'm done. And just showing you guys as I go. This is a nice pattern if you were to copy. I'm trying to see if I put everything in here. I use a pretty thick dowel rod. I used to use a skinnier one, but the thicker one makes it look more bulky, more, what do you call that? More quality, it just looks like. This, all these posts are the same height, and the way I cut them, I put 5 dowel rods together, and I measure out like whatever I want it to be. I mean, just put it next to this, how far it's gonna go through, and I add about like maybe an inch or a little less than an inch. The middle post is slightly higher than all of them, being that when you start off the game, you put it on the post, and it's just slightly higher, so if you flick it, you actually have a shot to make a hole in one. Makes the game real exciting right there. But like I said, it's just a slight hair, maybe a 1/4 inch higher. I'm trying to show you guys the height of it. Just a 1/4 inch higher than all of them. Makes it a lot of fun where it can just hop right over, and it's an exciting game. So that's about it. So I'll show you guys as it's finished, and I'm gonna stain these just with a wood stain, and I'll show you guys as I go. Let's see what happens. I'm using a Bostitch nail gun that I have over here to put in the post. What I do is mark each one, because you can't cut out multiples of these. It's never perfectly on. So what I'm doing is putting against it, marking it, cutting it, and shooting them in with a nail gun on the side. I'm using wood glue also to make sure that it doesn't break off on somebody. These are built to last. These will be around forever. So, well, when I build them. So this piece, these are nailed in right here, the 2 side walls. And what I do is I place this up against it, and I'll get that corner just perfect. Show you guys right there. And what I'll do is I'll mark that. So that's how you get each wall to be perfect, because you're dealing with a 1/4 inch. So when I go to put this against there, I will mark it and make sure that I cut off the pen marking, and it will be perfectly flush. You'll have a perfect board, walls on the side. So I will take the wood glue. I'm trying to do this for you guys with one hand so you guys actually see it in real time what's going on. Put some wood glue on it. We'll place the piece onto where it goes. Make sure that it's flush. And then I will get my nail gun, which I don't think I could do with one hand. And what I'll do is just shoot the nails in. That's what you'll end up with. Glue squirting out the side. Perfect. 4 walls up, stamped in. Doesn't take long at all. Once you made hundreds of these, it's not a big deal. Like I said, just copy this peg concept on the board. You'll have a lot of fun. You'll see what I'm talking about. And just think about what I said. if you had 20 more pegs on the board, it would make it not entertaining, not fun at all. Also, I'm gonna stain this. You can use a torch, like a what do you call that? A soldering torch, if you want to make it look vintage and burn wood. I don't know if you guys are into that. You could write something on the back saying "made by you" or whatever you want to do. I don't usually do that. I just like to make the board and sell them and make money. So I'm also going to stain this, and I'll put this in the video. Here's the distance of the board. So let me give that to you guys. It is exactly 14 inches length. The reason I did that, because when I make multiples of these, if you're going to do something like that, if you want to make a ton of them, strips are sold in 8-foot sections, which I end up with exactly like a ½ inch of extra excess, being that I use this as walls, if that makes any sense. So I don't have to go buy an extra piece at the end, being that it's exactly enough. If you make yours 14 inches long, and I'm using a 10-inch pine board. So I made this red circle with, before I put the pegs in, with a plastic cup. If you could find something that you want to do, or put like a glass bowl over it and just mark around it, and then you can get a perfect circle around it. I got 8 of them all done, all the sidewalls done. It took me about 45 minutes, and that's after a lot of experience on how to get them put together as quick as possible. It may take you about 45 minutes just for one, but as you can see, the board is pretty much done other than staining, maybe a little touch up with sanding, and you have a beautiful game to play with your family for years and years and years. We're staining the penny hockey table. I'm using it says Clear Solution Premium Wood Care. You could use anything you want. This one, I know when it dries, if I put like 2 or 3 coats, it'll have some type of like slippery glaze to it. One coat, it gives it more of a slippery surface, but not so much. Most of it bleeds into the wood, being that when you flick the penny, you don't want it to be too slippery, because then the thing will just bounce all around. It takes away the fun of the game from the skill, where how much pressure to flick it and how much not to flick it. So this is going to be a very, very light slip, just enough to make it fun, and it will coat it. Let's see what happens. See, I painted 4 of them right now, and when this dries with one layer, it will level all out, so don't worry about the little like plotches that you're seeing. Everything will level it out. It's like an oil or something that bleeds into the wood. So got it all painted, 1 coat. That's all I'm going to do is the 1 coat, and let's see what happens. So that is the finished product right here. Show you, got 8 of them made. Just got a real nice, real wood look. It's not too slippery where it's gonna glide all over the place. I'll just show you guys an example. Just like that, it bounces real good, where it's not like a guessing game, you know what I mean? So go ahead and build you guys some of these. Real nice gift for people if you want to just make them or sell them and make some money. Thanks for watching. Let me know how it goes. Leave a comment.